Happy new month and happy Independence Day to our Nigerian viewers. My name is Ifwa Akwa Harrison. In this edition of News Generation, the cedi seems to be improving against the dollar. But how did it happen? We will try and explain in this week's edition of Teen Business. But before that, the price of electricity and water is up once again. How will it affect you? Ghana has been made the West African Center for the fight against Ebola. We will tell you what this means for the country, these stories and more, including Landmark of the Week and what's trending coming up. Please stay with us. News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.
And you can always follow us on social media. We're on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh. Also find us on Twitter at newsgengh. Now, utility prices are up again. Electricity consumers will pay 6.54% more, while consumers of water will pay 4.54%. This means if your parents pay 100 cedis a month for electricity, they will pay 106 cedis 54 pesos at the end of October. Now, the Ghana Water Company is not happy though, because it cannot charge the new rates until certain problems are fixed. The PURC says the water company has not been cooperative with information on the services they provide, so they need to be punished. The Public Utility Regulatory Commission has come under fire for the tariff hikes, especially when service from both providers has not improved. Now, the PURC insists increases are necessary because crude oil is being used for power generation instead of gas from Nigeria, which has not been stable. It's the third time in 2014 that consumers have to pay more for electricity and water. And young people have been sharing their views on the tariff increase. This is what they had to say. What have you heard about utility tariffs lately?
I've heard that it has increased, but I think it's for the worse. It has increased for the worse because a lot of people are losing their businesses because of that. And a lot of homes are forced to put off some certain gadgets that are very vital in their everyday life.
How does this make you feel?
It makes me feel sad because sometimes my parents have been complaining a lot about the utility tariffs because it's increasing, and then they claim their pays are not being increased. So they are wasting more money on utilities instead of other things.
I'm not happy.
Why not?
Well, it means you're going to be paying more money for electricity and water. And I don't think it's good news.
The energy and water crisis that we are currently facing, I'm not feeling too good about it because we actually pay money for other commodities. And we also have school fees that we have to pay for, and it's very expensive. And if they increase, when they've increased the water and electricity bill, so now that they've increased it, it's going to cost more money for our parents to pay for it, which can also lead us to poverty and all sorts of other problems. That can also be a major problem to society as well, because neighborhood forces will now be on strikes in order to get more money from their companies, in order to pay for their electricity bills and other commodities. And now that they've gone up, it will even be harder for them to get the money.
I believe it's actually not the fault of the people in charge. I think it's us, because most of us don't use it wisely. We just leave our gadgets on, leave them charging, our TVs are on whilst we're not home. And we leave the water running whilst we're brushing our teeth for no reason. So I believe we should try to use it wisely, so they will see that we are making an effort and they can try and bring the prices down.
So are you doing anything at home to conserve energy?
Yes, I've put all my gadgets away. It's also helping for my educational purposes too. And some of the rooms that are not in use have everything off.
Once in a while, I try to conserve energy in the house. I iron in bulk and then I put off the lights when I'm not using them. I hardly watch TV.
Is that all?
Yes.
I don't open the tap and leave it running while brushing because that reduces the amount of water. And electricity, I always put off the lights in my house and all the electrical gadgets when they are not in use.
Before, I was just using them anyhow, just running them, finishing the power, and having to charge it over and over and over again. So it means I haven't been using the energy we have wisely. I haven't been conserving it. So it means that I have to start, and it also put pressure on my parents because we are all using it, so they have to pay.
I think the government should try hard and make life easier for us so that we can enjoy our normal lives as it was before.
I want to say that we should all try to make an effort to use our energy wisely and maintain all our resources while we have them.
Here are some more updates in local news round.
Electricity tariffs have gone up by 6.4%. The Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission has also increased water tariffs by 4.54%, but the Ghana Water Company would, however, not be able to charge the new tariffs until certain challenges are fixed. The PURC says the marginal increases has been necessitated by the shift to crude oil for generation of power because of erratic gas supply from Nigeria. Residents in the Adaklu and Agoti-Meziope district of the Volta region are appealing to government to provide a permanent solution to their flooding situation. An estimated 2,000 residents in more than 300 households have been displaced in recent floods that hit the area. The floods victims made the plea when NADMO officials, together with personnel from the 48th Artillery Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces, visited the affected areas. About half of the Agoti-Meziope district capital, Kwetoi, was submerged this weekend in a downpour, and about 2,000 victims, including more than 800 children, are now seeking refuge with families and friends. Over 10,000 cases of cholera have been reported in Ghana, with over 70 deaths. Cholera cases in some of the worst affected areas in Accra have, however, started reducing. In the Ladadu-Kotopon area, the infection rate has declined by about 50% in the last 30 days. But the Volta region has seen a significant rise with over 400 cases with 6 deaths. The number has risen from an initial figure of 201 on September 28, 2014.
Now, Ghana has been selected as the regional headquarters for the United Nations Mission for Ebola Response. But what does this mean, and how will it affect you? And what do you think about this development? We find out in the following report. Here at the Christ the King International School, Ebola is still fresh on the minds of many young people.
Very more or less like a dangerous one, because so many people are dying out of it, and it leads to tragic loss. Like some people's relatives, some people have now become orphans, to tell you the truth, and I don't know how they'll feel about it. It is very tragic.
I heard that the person who sent Ebola to Nigeria was called Henry Sawyer or something, and it wasn't detected in the hospitals. So I think Ebola is dangerous, but part of tackling it is by the people of the citizens themselves. They also have to take action against Ebola.
I've heard that most of the people who have contracted the disease have died. The death rate is up to like 90%. So I believe that if we do not put in place the proper measures, a lot of us could suffer from this disease.
Now, Ghana has a big role to play in the fight against Ebola in the West African sub-region. The World Food Programme facility at the Kotoka International Airport will be the hub of the UN Ebola Emergency Response Unit. Some young people think this could be a good thing for the country.
I feel that Ghana is doing the best he can. President Mahama is being supportive to other countries who have just got the hang of it. So we are trying, and then we know we can make it with the help of the people. Yes.
I think that Ghana is making a good effort, but I also think that we are still in danger of contracting Ebola. Other things Ghana can do is to take an example from Nigeria. You should get more volunteers in Ghana to help if there's an Ebola outbreak like Nigeria did. And people should be more patriotic in Ghana. That's what I think.
The head of the program, Tony Bambury, says the mission will establish treatment centers and equip them, provide logistics such as vehicles and other equipment needed by medical teams to do their work and achieve results. Ghana will not take care of Ebola patients. UN resident coordinator in Ghana, Susan Ngoji, said rather Ghana can take advantage of the facility to boost its own preparedness.
UNMIR, as the SRSG has also said, is an unprecedented mission created by the United Nations to deal with this massive challenge that we currently face. And while I recognize that UNMIR will have a regional mandate and will really be focusing on those 3 most affected countries, I think we in Ghana will be looking to see how we could leverage some of the efforts, the capacities of UNMIR, to see how we could strengthen our own preparedness here in Ghana.
And young people in Ghana are still being cautious, with the disease still lurking around the corner.
When people try to touch me, like, I wouldn't let them touch me, or I would get really angry when they came near me. And like, when people are sweating, I don't like them to come near me.
I was always using the hand sanitizer every time, no matter what I did. Even when I haven't done anything, I use the hand sanitizer.
I wash my hands frequently. I just go out for breaks and then I wash it. And the food I eat, I make sure it's hot, and I don't buy food now.
Now, reports from the World Bank and UNICEF have revealed Ghana ranks first in teacher absenteeism in West Africa. According to the report, the absence of teachers is what is contributing to the low performance of pupils in public basic schools. So, what do you think? Here's what's up.
I felt disappointed because teachers are supposed to be in the class helping students so they can learn, and when they go to the BC or they get their 9-1s, but instead of rather absenting themselves, it's a very bad thing. Sometimes when I'm watching news on the television, for example, when they're showing news about the rural areas, sometimes when you watch, you see that they don't get much teachers to teach them. Sometimes they also say the teachers absent themselves, but they always get their regular pay, which is not right.
I felt very embarrassed. I wasn't proud of Ghana at all. It's like we are getting high positions in such bad things, and it's not good for the country.
Some teachers are not coming to school to teach children because they haven't been paid at the end of the month.
It's true. If you go to the public schools and maybe sometimes you are passing by, you see that the students are just disturbing, and if you enter the class, you don't see any teacher around. They are supposed to be teachers to supervise the children so that they'll be quiet and be reading by that time or doing something important. I don't feel good because if the teachers don't come to the school and the children are told to write BEC for now, they might fail, and if they fail, they'll paint the school black, and other teachers will think that they did well, but the other teachers, so they'll be blaming each other and they don't know who to put the blame on.
No, I'm not very proud at all. This is because we must be ranking top positions in good things like best cocoa producer, not improper things like what we are talking about.
If you visit the government school, it's not every day that a teacher comes to teach the children. Sometimes he doesn't come to class at all. I'm so disappointed in my country because we are not supposed to be ranking in this type of bad things. We're supposed to be ranking in good things such as, okay, let me see like that. But it's not good at all.
When other countries say about this, they have bad opinions about us. In the public school, the teachers, like, they get paid even if they don't come to school. But in the private, if you don't come to school, maybe you can't get paid.
Your views on WhatsApp. Time to take a break. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in the world of teen business. Please stay with us.
When your kids need it all, there's only one drink that's got it. Cowbell Chocomalt. It's got the delicious taste of chocolate, the nourishment of malt, the all-round goodness of milk, and sugar for energy, all in one sachet. All I add is water, hot or cold. Now, that's real value. And that's real teamwork. Cowbell Chocomalt, 4-in-1 value with a great new taste.
Now, has the cedi really stabilized? That is the question. News of the Ghana cedi gaining strength against foreign currencies has been welcomed by some businesses and traders, but many are wondering how long the cedi will sustain its value against the dollar. Here's Team Business.
News of the cedi gaining value against the dollar is always good. This is because businesses and traders who import goods into the country will not have to change so much cedi into dollars to bring in their goods from abroad.
The cedi is now 3 cedis against the dollar. This means if you have $1, you get 3 cedis. But if you need $10, you will require 32 cedis to buy the $10. But this was not the rate of the dollar against the cedi last year. The dollar in recent times has gained more value compared to the Ghana cedis.
Inflation rate. The rate of inflation in a country has a direct link to the exchange rate either going up or coming down. A country with a low inflation rate sees a rise in its currency. The inflation rate for August, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, is 15.9%. Current account deficits. A deficit in the current account shows Ghana is spending more on foreign trade than it is earning, and that the country is also borrowing more from foreign sources to make up the arrears. In other words, the country needs more foreign currency than it receives through sales of exports. Public debt. A country with large public debt becomes less attractive to foreign investors. A large debt leads to inflation, and if inflation is high, the local currency's value is affected. Terms of trade. When the price of a country's exports go up and is far more than what it imports, its terms of trade improve. Increase in terms of trade shows greater demand for the country's exports, which result in more money from exports and an increased demand for the country's value.
While government is quick to point to measures it has put in place to deal with the fall of the cedi, some also say the decrease in currency speculations and increased supply of dollars is the cause. Any news of the cedi losing its strength affects industries, traders, households and government, which comes in for criticisms for not doing enough to calm the anxiety of investors. This results in the increase in the price of goods and services, which many financial experts say causes inflation to go up. For many consumers, the cedi gaining strength should reflect in the cost of goods and services on the market. But is this demand reasonable?
I was saying, Yamanoso, Omote Somaye, Nienya Quanoso Yeto, and Omo better ideas, say, no more bar, Omo Bob born a mom, almost in Yamano boarding, ne boarding, dollar no costro. They say, I say about for me, I saw Momokofa, no Mote Sukakramay, near Suyatis, no mine, emu esepe ho kakra ma ye nyina
ne ma mi to ya che mi to ne nyama no sa tam no na cedi for no dollar no e wosro enti nyama no gise mi to wi asa na sa makot mi ko fa foforo a na mi so ma ton fu.
There are calls for fuel prices to be decreased now that the local currency is gradually gaining its strength.
Se petrol ni na wa hodi wo bibia mu se petrol no emba fom na so ye hu ntoye enu mo be boaye
to ti petrol so a me fe se be ma no ma bebre ne bo no akofo mama ye eduane bo be kofo na me susu se eduane de woni season because se woto nyado 1 cedi a wontumi ndi bebre woto me ko 1 cedi a wontumi ndi bebre but e bedum bre bi nso a na ne bo no be kosoro enu de ye ni season ene wo ho nti so ti petrol so ma ye nso a e be boaye.
According to a financial expert, Sydney Kesley Hayford, currency speculations and a loss in confidence in the economy caused the cedi to fall.
What has happened recently in September and August, late August into September, is that you have got a lot of dollars have come into the system, not because we have generated those dollars, but because we have borrowed that money. We went and borrowed $1 billion, and we went and borrowed $1.7 billion for cocoa. You put all of that on the back of the measures that have been reversed by the central bank to correct the mistake that it made in February, now you are beginning to see a certain normalization of the transaction exchange.
One question on the minds of importers, businesses and consumers is how long the cedi will continue to gain its strength. The long-term strength of the cedi lies in a vibrant manufacturing sector, together with government cutting down on its spending.
Now, this week on Landmark, we head back to the Garden City. Kumasi is famous for being a city rich in historical culture. Part of that is embodied in the many statues that are situated in and around the city. Here's Landmark of the Week. On a trip to Kumasi, one cannot help but notice the many statues that form part of the city landscape. Most of the statues have great significance. The stories behind them are also popular and have been noted in many cultural studies and history books, like that of the Queen Mother of Ejisu, Ya Santua, or the statue of Okomfo-Anokye. The Okomfo-Anokye statue is right at one of the entrances to the teaching hospital. The fetish priest is noted for uniting the Ashanti Kingdom and conjuring the golden stool. But a lot more statues in the Garden City also have interesting history that is not so well known, like this statue that is located at the roundabout in Edum. That is why the research department of the Center for National Culture in Kumasi is digging out some more of this history.
The name we used to call it is a leopard. This area, at first, the whole place was bushy. A leopard was living around this area, hunting people, killing people, and a man called Kwame Boakye, on a particular day, caught the leopard and killed it. And that same day, a king was born. That is Otumfuo Osei Ajiman Prempeh II was born. So we named him after the man has caught the leopard. So his name became Osei Chirichie. In Chi, a leopard is a Chie. So his name became Osei Chirichie.
In the Kejetia market, many more statues can be found, like this one of a porcupine. At the market fountain, there are also a number of them. Here, statues represent the variances that make up the Ghanaian people: the soldier, the farmer, the mother. So, which one is your favorite? Let's see what is happening in sports.
President of the Ghana Football Association has revealed that since 2006, the FA has been able to finance the national teams up to the tune of 36 million Ghana cedis without government's full support. Speaking at the hearing of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, FA President Kwesi Nyantakyi said the body had been compelled to look within to fund the teams because the government had not been forthcoming with money. Manchester United are planning of playing midweek friendlies abroad. This is according to one of the club's directors. Reports suggest a lack of Champions League football this season could cost United more than £40 million. United's managing director, Richard Arnold, says profitable fixtures overseas are something the club will consider. An early League Cup exit means they will play only 3 more midweek games this season, all in the Premier League. US Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps has been arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. Police in Baltimore, Maryland in the US said he was stopped for speeding after being caught going 84 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone early on Tuesday morning. Phelps was cooperative but failed a series of standard field sobriety tests, traffic police said in a statement. He was charged and released.
The The technology used for making cars is still getting sophisticated. The 2015 Corvette Chevrolet is being called a supercar. The supercar is designed with special features and accessories that make it different from most cars. Here's what's trending.
We are still in 2014, but this car has been built as a 2015 supercar model. The car has special features including a GPS system and a camera fitted behind the rear view mirror. The camera is also a performance data recorder that monitors and records both video and sound around the car as it is in motion and stores the video on an SD card. This 8-inch touchscreen panel functions like a tablet or a mobile phone, where the driver is able to make calls and so much more. This car was introduced at this year's North American International Auto Show.
Isn't that so cool? I wish I could have such a car. Let's take a quick trip around the world before we wrap up. American health authorities say the Ebola virus may have been contained in Nigeria and Senegal. No new cases of the disease have been reported in the two countries for almost a month. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say the outbreak could be declared over in Nigeria next month. It continues, however, in other parts of West Africa, in particular Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. More than 3,000 people have died from the virus so far. The first case of the deadly Ebola virus diagnosed on U.S. soil has been confirmed in Dallas, Texas. Officials at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital say the unidentified patient is being kept in isolation. The man is thought to have contracted the virus in Liberia before traveling to the U.S. nearly 2 weeks ago. Tens of thousands of teenagers and students have been demonstrating on the streets of Hong Kong. They've shut down the main business area and have said they won't leave. Those protesting want more freedoms and want to change the way the government is run. They say they want to decide themselves who is in charge and not be told by their government. On Sunday, protesters faced riot police in the heart of the city and dozens of people were arrested. And on that note, we bring a close to News Generation for this edition. Thank you for staying with us. Until next time, take care. News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.